Alrighty guys, today we're gonna talk about how to animate a simple object in PowerPoint. So to start with, we actually need a PowerPoint, and I have it open, and this is normally how the PowerPoint actually looks when you open it. The title slide. You can get rid of these text boxes either by clicking on them and deleting them, or by going to Layout and choosing blank. Either one, you got to start here. Alright, so now I'm in the Home ribbon. I'm going to go over to the Insert ribbon, Shapes, and I'm going to pick a rounded square and I'm going to drag it out. And there's the body of the car I'm going to animate here. Alright, so it's the default is blue, and if I don't want to use blue, I can do something else. So I'm either going to click the shape format up here, oops, click it again, and then I'm going to click the format pane, or I'm going to double click here or right click here and click format shape, and I get to the same place. Alright, so for fill, instead of a solid fill of blue, maybe I'll choose a gradient fill. And here, instead of this color, so each one of these little boxes tells me the color in the gradient starting from light to dark. So I'm going to keep that one, but I'm going to change this one to purple. Okay, you know what, that's too dark. I'm going to change this one to purple. And then in here, I'm going to make this a lighter color purple. So I'm going to go to More Colors. I'm going to choose just a lighter color purple. Alright, that looks good. And then this one here, instead of the pencils, I'm going to come over here to the gradient and I'm going to make it lighter, just super, super light. And I'm going to go all the way up. There we go. And I have a nice purple. I want the dark to be a little bit more of my picture, so I'm going to slide these over. Slide, slide. There we go. Okay, so that's my awesome purple car. If I don't want the gradient to go like that, I can change the way that the gradient goes to being radial from the center, rectangular, or on a path like that. I like that one. I'm going to do that one. I can also put a picture in or create a texture, right? Or I can make a pattern, but I'm going to stick with my gradient. I like it. Alright, so now I've got the body of my car. I'm going to need wheels. So now I'm going to insert more shapes. So here we go. I could have gone back to the insert too, but I'm here. Alright, one. Alright, and I'm going to copy and paste this and put it over here. Two. Alright, so for these guys, I'm going to make these guys a pattern, I think. So I'm going to pick this checkerboard pattern. In the foreground, it's going to be yellow, and in the background, it's going to be black. Alright, and then I'm going to change that line. So I'm going to come out of Fill, and all the way down here where it says Line, I'm going to open that up, and I'm going to choose the line to be purple. I'm going to do the same thing to this wheel, or I could just delete that wheel, copy and paste that wheel, and put it over here. And that is my car. Looks pretty good. Alright, now I see this as a car, and you see it as a car because I told you it was a car, but the computer doesn't see it as a car. It sees it as three independent objects. So the first thing I have to do is group them. So I can either click and then hold Shift down and click all three, but you saw that it kind of moved a little bit, or I could drag a box, make sure it goes completely around everything, and that automatically selects everything. I'm going to go up to Arrange. I'm in the Home here, Arrange, and I'm going to group them. So now I have one box around everything. I can always ungroup whenever I want, right there. But here I am, it's grouped. So now the computer sees this thing as one object, which is good because I want it to move as one object. So now I have what I need. I can go ahead and get rid of the format pane, and now I'm ready to animate it. I want the car to go from here to here in a line. So I click on the object I want to animate, and I go over to Animations. I want it to move, so that's a path. So I'm going to click over here, and just to start, I'm going to start drawing a line. So I click a line, I click once. Now this part's important. To make it actually animate, you don't do it like you do to build an object where you click and drag. You click, let go, move to where you want it to be, and then click again to change the direction of the animation. To actually make the animation end, you've got to double click. So click one. Oh, that was terrible. Right, hold on. Alright, so let's try that again. I'll show you what happens if that happens again. So click my guy, Animation, Draw Freeform. So there's one, right? My hand is off. I find it, and if I click once, it's just going to change direction. If I double click, that stops it. And there it goes. All right, you're always going to see it once the first time. If you want to see it again, then you hit preview, and it'll do it again. All right, that's a pretty decent animation. Now let's say I don't like that animation though. The green is my start, and the red here is my stop. If I want to change where it goes, all I have to do is drag it. Oops. Drag that little arrow and move it to where I want it to stop, like that. And I can move that like that, all that. All right. So I'm going to leave it there. That's going to be my animation. Right? I know cars don't do that. Just go with me. And here it is right here. Here's the animation. And from here I can mess with it. I can move it up or down if I had more. I can delete it. And when I have it clicked, I can mess with the actual effect itself. If you want this car to do something after this, you're going to have to go to Property and not anchor it to the object. Now it doesn't change anything that just happened, but what it now means is that that object can do something else later. There's other things you can do with sound down here, and then there's timing, if you go all the way down to timing. All right, when do you want this to start? Now some of this stuff is up here as well, so that's pretty good too. All right, so if you want this to happen automatically, then you don't start on click, you start after the previous one. If you want it to happen at the same time as the last one, then you click with previous, and the two things will happen simultaneously. You can mess with the delay and the duration. So it took 2 seconds for my animation to happen. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. All right. If I want it to happen faster, all I do is shorten the time. There. If I want it to happen slower, I lengthen the time. So you can mess with that. All right. So that is a path animation. All right. Now, if you cannot see this box, you have to click what says animation pane. It's in a different place in the PCs, so make sure you look for it. All right. This is really important. You want to keep this open because you can see all of your animations in order, how they're actually going to play on the screen. If you want something to just randomly appear, then you would use these green ones. All right. Entrance effects is what they're called, and these are all the different kinds. If you want something to actually go away, that would be an exit effect, and you can see that here. If you want something to be emphasized, to get bigger or to sparkle or to something like that, not come in or go away but just change, that would be an emphasis effect. All right, so have some fun with this. Play around a little bit. It's a lot of fun to make your car do what it's supposed to do. Now, I also said in the video that I wanted you to work on transitions from slide to slide. Okay? To do that, let's build another slide. All right. Now let's talk about the transition from this slide to that slide. All right. These are all the different transitions you can do, but do you see this where it says on mouse click? If you take that off and say, okay, after 5 seconds, you'd have to count, you know, or let's say after, because this animation I think I left at 5 seconds. Let's say after 6 seconds. All right, it's gonna transition to the next slide. All right, let's see what happens. So if I go to play it, oops. All right, here we go. All right, that white you see now, that's the next slide. Okay, so it automatically went to the next one just by me unclicking this. All right, so I think you have everything you need to build your basic PowerPoint. Good luck. Let me know if you have questions. I can't wait to see your videos.